Hi, Girls Who Run NZ, Coach Maree here, and I'm so blessed today to be joined by Lisa Tamati. Lisa, hi, welcome.
Hello. Hi, ladies. So nice to be here. So excited.
Thank you so much for accepting my offer to come on and get interviewed by me.
Oh, cool.
I'm totally excited about this one. Been thinking about it all week, and a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. God.
I know. You're just a normal woman. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Lisa, my first question to you is, how would you describe yourself?
Completely nuts. mad in a good way, I'd say. I'm somewhat from average as far as ability goes, running wise, I'm speaking. I have always struggled with the fact that, as I was saying to you before, I run like a turtle wading through peanut butter. And sometimes my legs feel so heavy, and I, have all these normal sort of days where I don't feel motivated to get out the door, and I feel like my legs are lead, and all of those sort of things. And that's I think a lot of girls might be sitting there going, "What, really?" And yeah, really. This is part of what normal life looks like. So I'm very, very average when it comes to ability. But very stubborn and very strong-minded. If you're a strong-minded girl, then you can achieve extraordinary things. You don't need to be a talented, super fast runner. You just need to put one foot in front of the other, learn from good coaches like Maree, and believe in yourself, back yourself, take it an inch at a time. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, very average athlete, very, very bloody-minded person. And with a bit of madness.
For the girls who don't know you, because there'll be some girls on here that don't know you, what do you do? I've got endurance athlete.
Yeah, so I've been a professional ultra marathon runner for the last 25 years, and that means I'm very, very old. So I have done races all over the world, some of the toughest endurance events around the world. Everywhere from the Sahara. So I've done 2,000 kilometers in the Sahara. I've done the Moroccan desert twice, the Tunisian, the Arabian, the Libyan desert, Niger, Jordan, the Gobi Desert in China, Death Valley in the USA a couple of times, different parts of the outback of Australia. I've run the length of New Zealand from Bluff up to Cape Reinga, the Indian Himalayas, the Nepalese Himalayas, all over the world. I've done all these crazy, sort of amazingly long and hard races. And so I've had incredible experiences doing that, and some very high highs and some very low lows, and a wealth of experience, if you like, that I love to share, especially with other women, and empower other women to have a go at their big challenge. It doesn't have to be what I do, but other sort of things. So I've written a couple of books, Running Hot and Running to Extremes, which are on my website if anyone's interested. Produced quite a lot of documentaries on adventures around the world, and I've done a little bit of TV work, and columnist, and I'm a run coach as well. And I have a mindset academy as well. Something I teach is mindset, leadership, mental toughness, resilience, all of that sort of good stuff. So a bit of everything chucked in there, and yeah, just really passionate about teaching people about what their potential is, and how to actually tap into that potential, how to back themselves, how to believe in yourself, how to overcome obstacles, how never to take no for an answer when you come up against something. Yeah, so that's sort of the stuff I do. I also have a podcast, which I'd love people to come and subscribe to. It's called Pushing the Limits, and it's an in-depth interview series. I'm going to have Maree on there soon. An in-depth interview series with extraordinary people from all around the world who not necessarily to do with running, but a lot of them are, obviously, but also business people, scientists, with a bent on health, fitness, and breakthroughs in health and fitness and wellness. So yeah, that's Pushing the Limits. If anyone wants to come and subscribe, you can check it out on iTunes or via my website or anywhere. all your favourite podcast apps, and that's something I love doing too.
I'll be on there, I promise.
Yes, good girl.
And the reason why I wanted to bring Lisa on is because I love her mental toughness. And as you get into running, you actually find out how hard it is mentally. So physically, you can pretty much do anything, but it's just that mental side of it. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because even though you're an ultra marathon athlete and you've done these crazy Ks all around the world, I think a lot of the principles that you use will apply to the girls who are on my page.
Absolutely.
The girls are beginners, and you know, the same rules apply, and that's why I really wanted to talk to you, because I think you're amazing and you're so strong, and I hear about you do it.
I'm a big wimp, really, but let me tell you a story of my very first 10K run. This was back a long time ago, but in my 20s, and I decided I was going to have a go at a 10K fun run, my first official race. I didn't know how to run really. I jogged around the block a few times and tried to keep fit through running. But then I was in my first fun run. I got there and I was terrified, and I was standing on the start line. I didn't know how to pace. I didn't know, how to go out at the right speed or anything. And I took off and went too fast. And everyone seemed to be rushing past me. And then because I'm an asthmatic. I've been a severe asthmatic my whole life. And I got so wound up, and I went way too fast at the beginning, and I had that asthma attack. And after 5 kilometres, like, these grandmas were running past me, that were people, that were way overweight and really old. And it was like, what the heck? I felt like the slowest, worst runner on the planet. And so after 5 Ks, I gave up. I remember coming out crying, bawling my eyes out to my mum and going, I'm such a hopeless runner and I can never do it. That was my first run. Now, if I'd let that be my one and only experience, what a thing, what I would have missed out on, what incredible adventures. The thing is, when you're starting, for everybody starting, it's always overwhelming. It's always difficult. Getting the motivation to get out the door every day or 3 or 4 times a week or whatever you're doing is it's a decision you make. It's not something you feel. Like, I don't always feel. In fact, I hardly ever feel like going for a run. I'm like, I am going for a run. Girl, you are getting out there and you're putting your shoes on you and you're doing it. Because what happens is that first 10 minutes or that first quarter of an hour or the 20 minutes is absolute crap. I'll be honest with you. While your body's warming up, it doesn't feel good. You don't feel motivated. You've been sitting in the office all day, or, with kids or whatever you're doing. And last thing you feel like is going for a run. But once you get out the door, once you get those first few minutes behind you, once you get your body actually up to operating temperature, and if you build yourself into it slowly, like just start, warm up properly and just trot off slowly and then go, then you'll find that your motivation comes. So don't just wait for the motivation to, woohoo, I'm going for a run. That doesn't always happen. It very rarely happens. But once you're out the door and you're underway, like I always I promise myself, I'll just get through the first mile, and if I'm really not feeling it, then you can quit, okay? That's my deal with myself. And I get out there, and if things are really going, then I'll listen to my body too, and I'll know, hey, really, this is not, I'm not feeling it today. Good, I'll go for a walk, or I'll go do something else. Go and do some yoga or whatever. And that's okay too. It's learning to understand your body, and it's learning that some days will be good, and there'll be some days where you're flying and you just feel like free and happy and, ecstatic and back on the world, and then the very next day you could be feeling like lead and nothing's going right and a real trudge to get through the kilometres you've set yourself for the day. Just understanding that is part of the normal process. And when you overcome those little difficulties every day, you are training your mental toughness. You're training yourself to do stuff you don't feel like doing. And when we do that, we become stronger as in our personality and our mindset, because we've overcome that little challenge today, and I've succeeded. And if you can pat yourself on the back every time you do that, then every little run that you didn't feel like going and you did it, give yourself a pat on the back. Put a gold star on the door on the fridge and go, another time I overcame my desire just to sit on the couch and eat chips. Yeah, because that's what we all feel like doing sometimes. Yeah. But when you go out there and you do it and celebrate those successes and understand that when you have a bad run day, it's just mental toughness training. I take those as my days. Oh, well, that was a mental toughness training day. That's what I was there to do, was to strengthen my mindset and to strengthen my resolve. If you look at, like, from that point of view, there was always a win out of every run. And 9 times out of 10, you come back from a run feeling a whole lot better than when you went out. You know, you come back on a high, you feel relieved, all the stress that you've had, all the mind jumble the chatter that we have in our minds all day, every day, is gone when you come back from a run, and you're just like, whew, you know, you're pumped up, you feel good for a while, you know, and that's the runner's high that you want, you know. And then life comes back and you go down again, but it's okay.
Again, yep.
That's the cycle of it, you know. So it's, no matter how hard you're finding it, if you're an absolute beginner and you haven't even started, make sure that you really go slowly, you build into it. Walking is perfectly fine as a part of your running program to get you started, you know. Walk a lamppost, run a lamppost. Walk a lamppost, run a lamppost. Make sure your steps are really small if you're struggling. Don't try and do these big, long Usain Bolt strides, okay? Just make a little baby steps. Just a little wee trot, you know, for 100 metres if that's all you can manage, and then go back to a walk, and then run again, and then back to a walk. And you'll find once you start to get your breathing rhythm and just pushing the boundaries just a little bit every day, you know, I've got some crazy ultramarathon friends who've started off exactly that way, where they couldn't run to the letterbox, and now they're doing 100 milers. That's the potential. That's what's, you know, and this isn't just for 20-year-olds out there. This is for women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You know, there is no age limit to when you can start your running career. I had a great podcast episode, was it 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks ago, with my friend Molly Sheridan. You should definitely check it out. She's an amazing woman. She started running at the age of 48, and she's from the USA. And Molly and I have run, you know, things like Death Valley and La Ultra in the Himalayas and crazy stuff. And she's 61 now, and she's still kicking ass. And anyway, she started at the age of 48 to do her first marathon with a girlfriend that they'd set this goal. And she had no idea. In the first 5 weeks, she ended up with a stress fracture in her foot because she went out, did too much, you know. And she went to the doctor. And this doctor said to her, "How old are you?" And she said, "What do you mean how old I am?" She said, 48, you know, and I'm getting ready for a marathon. He said, "You're too old to run a marathon. Go and do something like knitting," you know, like. And she was so pissed off at this doctor. I mean, what a numpty. And so she went and felt humiliated and all the rest of it. She went home and she thought, "No, bugger you. I'm going to use that as motivation to show you that an old broad like me can do it," you know. And so she got in the pool and she did pool training and got till her foot was better. And then she built it up a bit more slowly, and she got a coach and some research and got underway properly. And yeah, a couple of months later, she ran her first marathon. And then she went on, within 1 year, she went on to do a 50K, an 80K, and a 100 miler within the first year. In the second year, she did, I think, what was it? I don't know. She applied for all the toughest races in the world, got accepted into 2, the Marathon des Sables and Death Valley. She did 17 ultras in that next year. That was the second year running, you know. And now, like, she's done all these crazy events. Now, if she'd listened to that stupid doctor who told her that she's too old, you know, what else would she have missed out on, you know? And this is the thing, we get told as women so many times, you can't do that. Who the hell do you think you are? You're too old, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're too pretty, whatever it is, we're never enough. And I get really, really angry about it because, you know, like, if all you got to do is back somebody when they have a dream and they have a goal, and that's a good thing. And when you back someone, and this is what Maree's doing as a coach and what I do as a coach, it's backing people to give them the belief in themselves and then giving them the structure to actually take those steps forward. So if someone's told you, ladies out there, that you are too old to run, or you're too fat to run, or you're too whatever to run, and who do you think you are? Use that as motivation to fire your belly, to go and prove those naysayers wrong. I just got a testimony from a girl we coached, Kim Forsyth, and she just did Kepler, which is a 60k mountain race, you know, really tough. And she did it, and she sent me a photo of her just going, woohoo, you know, running along. And she said, you know, thank you for helping me achieve my goals and believing in me and helping me to prove to all those naysayers who told me I couldn't do it, because now I've done it, you know. And that there's nothing greater than to be able to go back to the people who told you you couldn't and say, well, stick that up your nose because I did it, you know.
And I bet you've had a few of them in your time.
My whole life's been full of people like that, you know. I think one of the reasons I did what I've done is because I wanted to prove, you know, and when I was a younger girl, or even in my 30s and things, I had no self-esteem. I wasn't confident. I'd had a relationship in my early 20s that was very abusive, and he'd sort of stolen a lot of my confidence and told me I was useless at running, I was useless at sport, I was useless at this, I was useless at that. By the time I was 27, I managed to get out of that relationship, but it left massive psychological scars. But the good thing was I was so burning to prove that I wasn't what he told me it was, that I started doing ultra marathons and achieving crazy things. And I put myself through a lot, but I was determined to show him that I couldn't, even though he was gone out of my life by then. And 15 years after I first met him, for example, I did Death Valley, which is a race in the USA, the hottest desert on earth. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that race was because he had cycled through Death Valley in the middle of summer, and he was always like, you know, saying how cool he was because he'd cycled through Death Valley in the middle of summer. And so when I finally got accepted into that race of running through Death Valley in the middle of summer, 217 kilometres, it was like, I'm going to show, this is my prove you point. So he cycled through it. I ran through it twice in the middle of summer, 217 kilometres. You know what? That feels good. Even though I never got to tell him that face to face, that feels good when someone's told you you can't, you're a useless runner, you know? And I was told that all the time. I was useless. How useless am I now, you know? I don't feel useless. I feel quite proud of what I've achieved. I know that I'm not fast, but fast and useless are two different things, you know? Massive endurance, you know, massive mindset, and that's what I can be proud of, you know? And that's what you girls can too, you know. It's learning those stepping stones to be able to do that, and that's what Maree and I love doing, helping and empowering other women to do that. Yeah,
and
so that was my little thing.
With this whole page and bringing you on, you know, we need to support each other as women and going through all these processes that we go through. And that's what I want on the page, and I want girls not on the page to learn, is just that, you know, we've got to stick together and work through it together. And
absolutely
bringing each other down, because it's hard enough with just normal life and everything we go through. And then you start this running thing and it's just so mentally hard, and then you're like, what? You know, want that support from each other. Exactly.
You know, like, and this is why I love, you know, like what you're doing. And, you know, we've both shared a little bit about our baby problem journeys, if you want to call it that, you know, me losing children, not being able to have children, and that sort of a journey. And how, and in your journey that, you know, that you've had trouble in that same department, and, you know, just being able to share those sort of stories with each other, I think it's really important for women. We need that support networks, you know, whether it's in your fertility or having babies, or whether it's in your fitness journey or aging, or, you know, I mean, I'm 49, you know, every day I'm confronted, and we're all confronted with images of the perfect woman, how she's meant to look, how she's meant to be, and all of this sort of jazz. And it's such a battle to keep your self-esteem where it should be and to love yourself when you don't fit that ideal, you know, or you're starting to get to, you know, you're getting a few wrinkles and your hair's going grey and all that sort of stuff that we have to deal with. We have a value outside of our physical looks. We have a value as women, and I think that's, you know, one thing that sport can give us is that value, because, you know, we're being there and we're being judged on our run, if you like. We're not being judged, but, you know, we're there doing an actual activity and doing our sport, and it gives you a confidence and a strength that I think, you know, translates into when you look in the mirror every day and see something that you don't like. You know, we've got to start loving ourselves and our bodies and start accepting who we are, and that we don't all look like bloody Ashy Vines and I don't know who all these fitness 20-year-old bimbos are, which is who I'm completely jealous of. And they're gorgeous. But, you know, we don't have to fit that. We don't all have to fit that ideal, and we can still be beautiful, and we can still be amazing runners, and we can still be amazing mothers, and we can, you know, and that's not relying on age, body shape, or any of those sort of external factors. Yeah, I think that's important.
I wanted this interview too because then I could show you as Lisa, just Lisa, real Lisa. I know you've got your own stuff. I've got my own stuff, and it's just nice to know, because girls will see me on my page and think that it's all, you know,
roses.
Everything roses, when in fact, you know, it took me a really long journey to get where I am, and a lot of loss and devastation and heart. And I still am touched by that each day of my life. But, you know, hey, I've got my own stuff, you know, and I know girls out there have got their own journey as well. And you might not see it on the outside. That's why I'm really big on supporting each other, because you just never know what someone's been through.
Yeah. And, you know, it's a bit like that, the analogy of a duck, yeah. I've used it a couple of times this week. You know, you see it, you watch a duck on the water and you just see it, you know, gliding along like it's looking all sweet and happy and it's all sweet. But under the water, his little legs are going hard out, you know, to get him along. You don't see what's going on under the water. You only ever see the smooth, happy, you know, things like on Facebook, you know. I said to my husband once, you know, he has this self-esteem issue sometimes, and he was like, oh, everyone's on Facebook and they're all running this race and that race, and I've only done this and I haven't done that, and they're all faster, better, stronger, beautifuler, strong, you know, whatever. And I'm going, you're looking, you're like, Facebook, everyone puts their best face forward. I mean, we all do it. I do it. You know, you don't put, you know, I'm having a shit day, you know, here's me crying on the ground, you know, no one sees that. You know, you only have the smiley, happy side, you know, and that's great. I mean, it's great that we want to, you know, share that with our friends and stuff. But remember, there is the other side. And remember, too, when you see some, you know, 1,000 people doing a crazy, all these, you know, travels or running or having this happy life, and you're stuck somewhere, you're seeing 1,000 people having one experience, not one person having all these experiences, you know what I mean? So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And there's often a lot of struggles behind the facade that we don't see if we don't talk about it, if we don't share real, genuine stories.
Also, if we don't actually look. So, you know, sometimes we don't take the time to listen and look a bit further. So I think that's really important too. Not to just only wait before you see someone for who they really are, but actually, you know, do a little bit of digging and support each other that way. And if someone's having
how are you? You know, how are you really? Yeah. What's going on in your world today? What can I help you with? Or you look a bit down today. You know, can I help you? You know, just all that sort of little bits of support that you can offer. A little bit of kindness here and there doesn't, you know, goes a long way. And I, you know, like I had a lady today. I have a disabled mum who many will know the journey that I've been on with her, bringing her back from an aneurysm where she was left virtually with no function at all, you know, like a couple of words, no memory, not able to move, not able to do anything. And then that was 20 months ago, and them telling us, you will never have her at home, you won't be able to cope with her, she'll probably never have much quality of life again, put her in a rest home. And I just went, nah, that ain't happening. And I'd fight after fight on my hands to get her home, to get the support we needed. And it was hell, it was hard, it was the toughest journey of my life. I mean, it made the ultramarathons I've done look like a piece of cake, this journey that I've been on with her. And of all the things I've done in my life, that is what I'm most proud of, is that now 20 months later, I've proven everyone wrong again, and our family has, where they told us she would never do this, she would never do that, she would never walk again, she would never have any sort of life. Now she's driving, reading, writing, walking, talking, fully back into life, because I chucked everything at it, and I didn't accept what the first doctor told me, and I kept searching for answers, and I worked my ass off, and every day I spend with her 7 days a week. I have a 7 to 8 hour program that I put her through every day religiously, unless I'm away for work for a day or so. Then my brothers take over, but otherwise I'm there training her all day, every day. And this is intellectual training, this is physical training, this is eye movement training, this is balance training. And then we've managed to get her now that she can independently walk around, she can take herself to the loo, she can, you know, she can drive a car, she can go out, you know, and have fun with her friends and her family and be fully back into life. We've still got some challenges and she's still got some problems, but we've got our mum back when she was written off. And that journey's taught me that when people tell you can't do something, they don't know. They don't know any more than you do. And that even when they're the so-called experts, say you don't know what you can achieve. The way I look at it, you know, you can either, you know, give up and, okay, we'll put her in a, you know, rest home, or we'll go along that road, or you can fight like 40 buggers, do everything under your power, and you might not succeed. Yes, you might fail. Yes, it might have been all for nothing, but you've got a chance, you know, and that's the difference. You have a chance at survival. You have a chance at comeback when you have that attitude. And I, you know, came across things like hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Now I've got a hyperbaric oxygen therapy clinic because that was her most amazing therapy for her. And she's back fully in life. And I really hope I can get a book deal on this. I really want to write her story up, because to teach a 75-year-old everything from being like a toddler who couldn't do anything, didn't know who I was, just completely blank, to being the complete intelligent mum that I've, you know, got again now, is the most incredible journey of my life. And if I hadn't been an ultramarathon runner, and if I hadn't had all the crap that I've had to go through in life, I wouldn't have had the tools to help her through that journey. And so what that says to me is that when you have crap happen to you, we all talk about post-traumatic stress, but there is also a thing as post-traumatic growth. Sometimes that shit that happened to you was for a reason, and it was actually going to help you in the future. And it actually might help you help others in the future, and it can be empowering. So if you've had some horrible things happen to you, maybe look at them in a new light and go, what was the learning out of that? Okay, I never want to go through that again in my life. You know, I never want to face that problem again, but I did, and I handled it well. And what did I learn out of it? And what are the learnings I can take for my next steps in life, and how can that make me stronger, rather than, you know, I'm broken, you know, for you losing, you know, your baby and that sort of thing must have been, you know, really, that must, I can't imagine. I can't imagine how hard that would be to actually survive that and not, you know, jump off the nearest cliff, because the despair and all that sort of stuff. But now you took that experience and then you went and, you know, led SANS and helped other women through that journey, you know. So you made yourself stronger. And then you went on this massive weight loss journey, running journey, and became what you are today. You know, big ups to you. That's just cool.
Nice how it's turned around to me and I get a bit of kudos. It's really cool. But I mean, and I know that I use it. I'm very ambitious now, and I lost a lot of who I was, a lot of my confidence, and myself. I really lost myself. So running gave me that opportunity to get into something for myself, not only for the outside of it, but mentally. And now I look for opportunities everywhere, and I keep trying to grow, and I'm a bit of a yes girl, so that's a bit of an issue for me.
Me too.
But you know, it is what it is, and I've just learned from my experience, because you can go one of two ways, can't you? When you have something like that happen.
Yep.
And
yeah, 2 options.
I did try the other way. I did go the other way for a bit, but then turned myself around.
That's the thing, you know, like we all went that other way for a while. But at some point, you've got to go and draw a line in the sand and go, I'll pull myself out of the crap. I'm going to pull myself out of the swamp that I'm in, and I'm going to start to fight back. And that's what resilience is. And that's a key trait. And the older we get, the more we can develop that trait, you know, because life, if you live long enough, life is going to throw some curveballs at you. There is no two ways about it. And it's how you deal with those curveballs, those horrible experiences, and how you come out stronger for it in some way, shape or form. And it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be that, you know, crumpled up mess on the floor, bawling your eyes out, drinking a bottle of wine. You know, I've been there. And the thing is, we didn't stay there. We didn't stay in that swamp. We slowly got ourselves out. We got our friends helped us out. Our partners helped us out. Our parents helped us out. Whoever it was, people helped us out to get to that next level and get to the next level. And then it's your turn to help turn around and help someone else out of the crap too, because, you know. And running is just one of those things that can get you out of despair and depression and feeling down. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel like you've got a goal. It's motivating. It's you start to, I mean, you know this, you lost all that weight, but it's more than the weight loss and the health. It's the mind health that it provides you that's really, really key. And you know, there are other sports that do it too. It's not just running, but that's the one we've chosen, and that's a really good, simple way. Put a pair of shoes on and head out the door. You know, take 100 steps and then take another 100 steps. You know, and like the moment with my mum, teaching her to walk, and we ditched the wheelchair about 6 months ago now, and every day we aim for just some more steps, keeping the quality good, keeping her strong, giving her the breaks that she needs. But every day we're pushing the boundaries just that much further out. Like yesterday, I took her up to a beautiful park up here, and we walked through the trails and down over steps, and we went to this water wheel, and we enjoyed the bush, you know. And it took her what would take you and me 5 minutes to do. It took her an hour and a half, but we did it, you know, in 50-meter increments, having rests along the way. And when she got tired, we'd sit down for a minute, and when we get back up, and we'd, you know, support her and pat her on the back. And how I start every day with my training with her is I start to say, well, you know, like, what have we achieved this week or this month? You know, what are the things we've, you know, I'm constantly reminding her of how far she's come. When we're getting to those moments of desperation and I don't know if I can carry on, and I'm so frustrated, and I'm, you know, there's me and her, or both of us, you know, because it's a very, you know, trying thing to go through. We remind ourselves of how far we've come. We look at old photos, old videos, and think, wow, she couldn't even sit. She couldn't find her mouth. Now she's doing all this, you know, look at what you've achieved, and that gives you the motivation. So sometimes patting yourself on the back and going, look how far I've come, I've started the journey, I've got to just keep going in blind faith. I am going to get better, I am going to get fitter, I'm going to get stronger, and I'll be able to run more, whatever the challenges that you're facing. it's celebrating those little successes as they happen as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, Lisa, all my questions. I had a whole lot of questions here, but it's been really.
We've gone off script.
That's okay. I was hoping that it would go off script.
Yeah, I've got it off script.
Yeah, it would just flow, and that's what's happened, and that's really cool because that's where I'm the most comfortable as well.
Yes.
So, and getting to know you more as a person rather than the ultra athlete.
Yeah, it's very important.
That and because that's the most important thing, really.
Yeah, because remember, all the glossy magazines you see, all the fancy people you see on the television, all the stuff you see on Facebook is plastic. There's a person behind that. There's a story behind that person. You're only seeing a two-dimensional thing, and it's great for marketing to have a nice photo of yourself out there or doing whatever. But remember, there's always a real person behind that and a real story, and they're having dramas just like you are. And I think if we all acknowledge that and have more humanity and more compassion with each other and more support for each other, then the world will be just a friendlier, nicer place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what's next for you? I do want to ask that question. What's next for Lisa?
To be honest, I haven't got a sporting goal right now. I've just been on a hell journey health-wise. So after losing baby 3 years ago now, I got tumours in my uterus, and that's why we lost baby, I think. And then I started to have massive problems. Like I've been, this is too much information, but horrific blood loss, virtually for 12 months straight through, and horrific pain and all these ongoing dramas. And I went to the doctors. They said, got to chop it all out, hysterectomy. And I said, nah, not happening. And I went and I searched, and I tried to understand why this had happened to me, what had caused this. Came across a few other health issues on my discovery journey. And the thing is, I refused to just go and take the easy option and chop it out. I wanted to find out why and how could I deal with this on a natural way. And I started working with wonderful people like Gary Moller, who's a functional nutritionist and consultant. I did 1,000 tests. I spent a lot of money. I bought 1 billion supplements. I got other surgeons' opinions, and then we worked out, no, I don't need a hysterectomy. Well, I worked it out. I didn't need a hysterectomy. I needed one particular tumour taken out. That was the key one. That was on after months and months of research. And I managed to talk them into doing that one. They took that out, and now I'm fine again, and I'm starting to come back because I had such massive blood loss that I was having transfusions every 5-6 days, and I didn't have enough blood to function. So, I was close to kicking the bucket a couple of times. The blood loss was so dramatic. But I still refused that hysterectomy. And now, at the end of it all, I've still got my uterus. It's still functioning. I'm all good again. And we're even trying for a baby still. So you never know. I mean, it's very late in the piece, but you've got to be in to win, And I certainly didn't want to just chop things out. I think that's an absolute last resort, or it was for me anyway. And I discovered a whole lot of things on the journey, and I now live a slightly different lifestyle, and I've pulled back a little bit on the distance and the kilometres, obviously, because I'm trying to have a baby and so on. I can't train to the silly degree that I was. And also looking after mum, that's my priority number one, and getting her back to 100%. And actually 110% is my goal, because I want her actually healthier than she was before. And then I've got all these businesses that I'm trying to grow and reach more people and have more impact. And so my running career is pretty much on hold at the moment, and that's fine. I think I've done enough. And I'm not
in my email to you, I said, don't give up.
No, exactly. We're not. We're still going to try. And who knows where this crazy life will lead any of us, We never know what's around the corner, but I'm having a ball getting there anyway, and just loving having, being grateful for the good people in my life, my husband, my parents, my brothers, you know, my friends, and just being grateful every day for all the good stuff, and trying not to go mad with all my business stuff, which does drive me insane, especially with this technology and digital world. But, you know, that's my challenge at the moment. So, yeah, that's me. I'll leave the running to you guys. I'm still running, but not running long.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second, Lisa.
Not at the moment, but I will get back there.
How can girls get in touch with you if they want to look into some coaching, or if they want to look into
Yeah, like they can go to my website, lisatamati.co.nz is my main one. From there you can access my coaching stuff, or my Mindset Academy, which I'm stoked with. It's an online course that you can do and all the stuff like I've been talking about. And I've got my books on there, and I just love anybody to reach out to me, lisa@lisatamati.co.nz, if anyone wants to send me an email. I'm on Facebook, obviously, pretty much all around the net, as you know, at Lisa Tamati. You'll find me on most of, you know, Instagram and Twitter and all those good places. But yeah, my website, lisatamati.co.nz, and do go and check out my podcast. I'd love it if people listen to the podcast. Had some fabulous interviews. You can go back through the last, you know, 40 odd interviews that I've had. I've had crazy people, amazing people. I've got coming up next week on the podcast, or in 2 weeks' time, is Dr. Bill Andrews, who's the world's leading #1 scientist on anti-aging, and telomere shortening, and his breakthroughs. He happens to be an ultramarathon runner, so I've managed to, because he's a big wig, he's a really important man in the world, but I managed to get him on my show because he's good. Molly, the lady I talked about, is his wife, so I managed to con him from coming onto my show, which was really, really cool. So don't miss that episode if you want to learn about living longer and anti-aging and the breakthroughs that are coming, and the products that are available. So yeah.
Okay, well, Lisa, I'll get you to send me the links, and I'll put them all under this video.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
Okay,
Alrighty.
well,
Thanks, Maree.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm just, overwhelmed that you said yes.
Nah.
So that's cool. But it's so cool. So Lisa and I are going to work together in some way going forward. Yeah. So it's exciting for hopefully both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, ladies, join up with Maree's coaching, get started, get underway. There'll be other things that I can add into the mix. And, you know, I'd love to collaborate with you on future projects, Maree. I think it'd be awesome. I'm sure there's things that we can do together, and we can work that out.
Okay, well, that's it from us, Girls Who Run NZ, and I hope you enjoyed something amazing out of this. Thank you, Lisa. And, we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.